Another way we can look at things is by an example of a substratum. For example, if we go to a movie, the screen is a substratum, or where everything is reflecting on. The light, the shadows, the shapes, and everything are reflected on a screen, something underneath everything, okay? That's the journey towards your own true self. That's not the end point to be the screen, okay? Because it's just an example. Remember that everything I talk about, there's just pointers, something that I want you to understand deeply, that there's no way anyone has ever or will find their own true self, the self itself. But all these little games and things can break the veil if you play with them. They can give you clarity, insight, understanding of many layers of the fantasy, and then the game changes. Even though that you can explore, let's say, the fantasy will not be a fantasy anymore. It will be the potentiality of being and everything within you, happening everything within you, and nothing happening at the same time. It's tricky with words and descriptions, but you'll know. At the end of the day, if it happens, you'll know. And then you'll get a glimpse of the sacredness of all points of view. In the beginning, it's really important not to validate any point of view, as it can take you to the highest truth. But then from the highest truth, even the lowest points of view are acknowledged from a different perspective, understanding, and light. But that's for another game, you know. First, you gotta fully embrace the game within and break the veil and fully remember before the next chapter of the game can actually blossom into more. So baby steps. So that game is the substratum of everything, just to explore the substratum of everything, because for everything to happen, there has to be something underneath or before, or a base or a foundation for everything else to exist. So if you look at the most subtle games of the game, consciousness, timelessness, eternity, all those things had to be based or be on top of a substratum, and that substratum has to be the total opposite, let's say, of everything that is manifested, no matter how subtle it could be. So even if you get to the subtle levels of unconsciousness, nothingness, and emptiness, there has to be something from all of that to happen, and that's the source. The substratum of everything is source, and source is without qualities and attributes. That's why you get the potentiality of being. That's why you get everything that could be. Because there's something, there has to be an empty, how to say it? Let's say that you have you're gonna write music, and you have to empty sheet, empty sheet of paper where you can write something on, poetry, music, or a canvas, a paint or anything. For anything, the potentiality or something is within that potential empty sheet of whiteness, of emptiness, So the substratum would be something like that. So let's say if you have an experience of total blackness, the substratum would be beyond blackness. It has to be, otherwise, how can it be source? So when you look at things, when you see qualities of any kind, you're just seeing the potentiality of what could be in the substratum of the game. So when you see a movie, when you go to the theater, you see the screen. It has the potentiality to show anything, and the screen will not be affected by whatever is being shown. So let's say you're watching the Avengers movie, and then you see a scene or a play that there's emptiness, space, galaxies. The screen is still untouched. On the screen, there's no galaxies, there's no space. There's not even whiteness or blackness or blankness, nothing at all. You cannot really describe it, because if you have described it, it's within the movie. And if it's within the movie, it's not the screen. Just play with example, because your true nature is more related or closer to the substratum of the screen. So anything that is projected on the screen, it cannot be you. There's something there permanent that allows everything to happen. And there's only one thing that is always permanent, and it's you. It's not no things in front of you or things that you have experienced. It's impossible, because things you have experienced come and go, all of them. Even the witnessing comes and goes. The watcher comes and goes. Being comes and goes. But your true self has never. It doesn't qualify. It doesn't. Um, all these qualities doesn't apply to it. But the game of the movie theater helps a lot. Just be the screen. Be that which is untouched, unmutable. That doesn't go through anything. Nothing affects it or touch it. No matter what happens in the screen, it's untouched. The screen will never be wet if it's raining. It will never be burned if there's fire or a volcano. If there's like in the Old West shooting, the screen is untouched. You will not see holes. So the deeper you go within your own self, you'll see there's nothing at all that can actually describe who you are, and yet you are. So play within the substratum of everything. Even the watcher is within the screen, is within the movie. It cannot be you. Consciousness cannot be you, because it's still projected on that screen, or comes out of that screen, is more accurate, comes out of that source for the time being. Then you'll see that nothing comes out of it. It's impossible for something comes out of the source. The source is just is. It has never been other than that. And you have always been that, which is the fascinating thing. Explore and let me know. Love you.